You're listening to the Comic Crusaders Podcast. I am your host, Al Mega, CEO of Comic Crusaders and Undercover Capes. In this show, I'm sitting down with creators from all walks of life to talk about inspiration, process, the lessons they've learned, and a whole lot more. Wepa, what up, mi gente? It's your boy, Al Mega. Welcome to a brand new Comic Crusaders Podcast. And today, folks, we got two awesome independent creators that are smashing it on their current Kickstarter called EroTech. Well, depends. I mean, we leave it up to you. And we're going to talk to the guys. What is the correct pronunciation, if you will? But this book is fire, folks. It's going to blow your mind. By the second or third page, you guys are going to be grabbing your junk like, oh, my God. What is going on here? But it's future based. It's crazy things that are going on now too, which is funny. So it has a kind of a true to life narrative. But I need to know the situation because I know the writing is awesome, the art is beautiful. So let me introduce. First up, he's an architect, he's a developer, he's an editor, he's a director, he's a writer. My God, and he's also a publisher. SHP Comics, the one, the only. Shawn Hainsworth, kiddo, how you doing?
I'm doing good. So excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
No, thank you, man. You killed it on this book, man. Let me tell you, along with your partner. Let me introduce the next person because he's an artist. He's a designer. He's a raconteur. The one, the only, the very talented Jeffrey Crosscheck. Please tell me I got it right.
Yeah. No, it's great. Pronunciation and everything.
Woo! There we go. SHP is in the building, folks. SHP Comics. Yo, guys, you got this amazing project. I am digging it. Like I said, I mean, you had me worried by the third page, fourth. I was like, oh, man. Even my fan was asking me, you okay? I mean, the book has left me breathless, folks, and you'll find out why soon. But before we get into the madness of this awesome book that's out now on Kickstarter, funded, but still got more days to go. So you got to make it rain, folks. Make it rain. Trust me. This is the perfect type of book to make it rain on, too. So, fellas, let me start with the man himself, Mr. Hainsworth over here. Comic Crew always needs to know origin stories. So I need to know, what's your origin story? Where are you from originally? Where were you raised? And how did you even fall in love with fandom? And what part of the fandom did you first fall in love with?
Yeah, so let's see. I grew up in Rhode Island, and I lived there all through childhood until I went off to college. The first book that rocked my world was The Watchmen. From the first page, I was just blown away by the way the story was told visually.
How old were you when you picked that up?
That's a good question. I was born in 1966, so I'm going to say like 15, something like that.
66? You look like a young man, bro. Much younger. Yeah, man.
I was 11 when Star Wars came out, which also rocked my world. So,
you saw it in the theater?
Oh, yeah. And in fact, we all skipped a day of high school to go see The Return of the Jedi when it came out.
Hooky party, baby. Let's go. Movie theater.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, one more story. We saw the first screening in our area of The Empire Strikes Back. And as we're walking out, one of my friends, who is kind of an a-hole, says really loudly, I can't believe Darth Vader is Luke Skywalker's father in front of all these people waiting to get into the theater.
God.
Unbelievable. Yeah.
Wow.
It's the worst. Yeah.
So did you leave him to get jumped or...
I did not know him. I haven't spoken to him since. No,
I do not know this fool. Folks, beat him up if you like. I'm out. I'm going to go get a slice. You can meet me there after your beating, How dare. So what was your very first love then? How did you even get introduced? Was it through movies or did you have a physical book in your hand or cartoons or?
Yeah, so I think I was more of a movie fan early on. I had a physical Watchmen in my hands. I'm just not a digital comics reader. I love having a book in my hand. It's just my generation or me. I don't know.
Me too, bro. I mean, digi is nice to read, so that way you could take care of the gems that you don't want no one touching.
Yeah,
that's the only time I say I would take. Yeah, you want to see the book? Sure. I'll turn on my computer. They're like, no, I want to see the book. Like, you're not smelling that ink, bro. I gotta charge you like $20 a hit.
Yeah.
That's vintage ink. Crazy.
Yeah, so I was like an indie film guy, and and then when I found indie comics, you know, I mean, I would say, you know, starting with Mao's was one of the first ones, but I like Daniel Close, and just seeing what people were like, what was possible, right? So indie film was kind of a revelation in, you know, the early 80s or so, because it had all been Hollywood, and then it was the new Hollywood. But, you know, it really started with like John Waters carrying a projector around in the back of his car and showing his own movies. And when indie film really took off and changed things, that's when I realized there was this world of indie comics going back further into the 70s, and just some really, you know, edgy, outrageous, awesome, you know, pushing the envelope, getting away with stuff that you couldn't get away with in any other
what
media.
comic code.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I definitely came to it from that angle. I was not like a huge you know, Marvel guy or superhero guy. I read the superheroes, I liked the superheroes, but it was more the indie stuff that really pulled me in.
I could tell. I could definitely tell with this book, you know, because just of the narrative, you know, it's slice of life, it's tech, it's future, but it's not heroic. Like that's for sure. It's really some crazy, awesome storytelling with, again, beautiful art, yo.
Yeah, you got to give it up for this guy. I was so lucky the day we found each other on the internet. So
we're gonna get into that bromance, because before we get into the bromance, I need to hear the Jeffrey K story to see how everything lines up. You know what I mean? So
sure.
So Jeff, one sec, Jeff.
You go ahead.
I gotta want to finish with Shawn with one thing though, because here you are, like a young kid. You said in high school you had your tribe going to the movies, you know, playing hooky. Bad on you. I'm gonna report you.
Bad. Don't do that, kids.
But did you find your tribe earlier at all, or did it take for you to get up to high school to find the tribe of kids that like what you liked?
Well, now I'm gonna really admit my tribe, which was I was a D&D kid going back to like 8th or 9th grade. So
he's an OG D&Der, folks.
Yeah. So you know, like Stranger Things in the 80s, that was us. You know, seeing Stranger Things was kind of like a wow, you know, that, and even if you remember the beginning of ET, they're playing D&D. So I was that first generation of kids that got into D&D. We were total nerds. We were way into the Lord of the Rings. We were way into fantasy novels. So that was kind of my tribe, and that grew into you know, more of a movie thing. I think a lot was Star Wars. So Star Wars was just a game changer for movies for all of us. Like all of a sudden we were obsessed with every detail, and you know, I don't know why that happened, but it did. Like
it was just so different at the time though, because he was creating a story, and then you know, we realized that there was story to be told from before and more story to be told after, but we're getting this whole middle piece of a story out of nowhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was funny, you know, you mentioned that. I was just watching THX earlier today, and as I'm watching this film, I'm seeing, okay, I see what George brought to Star Wars, even from this film. You know, the holograms and all that. He used them heavy in Star Wars. I'm like, okay, so this is where he kind of got the concept from.
Yeah.
Pretty cool flick. I mean, a little mind F, because I'm like, okay, you know, you got to kind of watch it for a good 30 minutes before you start understanding the world in front of you. It's not a Star Wars world. You know what I mean? I'll tell you that much. Star Wars, you knew there was good and bad. That's that. Over here, it's like, oh, what the hell's going on?
Yeah, it's kind of like a European art film. I think that was his inspiration.
Oh, very artsy.
He went to film school with Coppola and all these guys out at UCLA or USC, wherever they were. Yeah, I think it's really interesting to look at THX 1138 in the scope of Lucas's career to understand where he came from. You know, absolutely. And that was, you know, he was also a big fan of, and we won't go there because this will just be, but you know, not during high school, but now I got way into like Japanese cinema and samurai movies and all of that.
Let me guess. The Hidden Fortress, Seven Samurai.
Yeah, exactly.
My team. I have a filmmaker on my team and film aficionados on my team, and they're like, well, they got into Star Wars. Well, you know something. George got inspiration from XX, Hidden Fortress, this, that. And I'm like, okay. I have to get these films now, so I got them, you know, and they're gonna be reviewed soon on Cinema Crusaders, which is a movie.
Nice.
Yeah, so it's good stuff. I get you, man. It's nice to see how non-American influence such a great American film, right?
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah.
It's great. I love when they could reach into other cultures and and take things like that and make it something unique and special. That obviously, I mean, I wasn't the biggest Star Wars fan, to be honest, until Rogue One. Then when Rogue One came out, then I started going back. I said, "Fuck, all right, I get it now." Damn it.
That's my second favorite Star Wars movie. I love Rogue One.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
amazing.
Wow, really?
I mean, the first one is my favorite because it changed my life. But of all the ones that were made after, I like Rogue One the best.
Wow. Jeff is like, really? I have something to say. We're going to get into that. We're going to get into that in a moment then. But before we break up the bromance over Star Wars, Jeff, talk to me about you, man. Where did you grow up at? And, talk about your early fandom and even finding a tribe, if you did.
Sure, absolutely. Yeah, I was born in Oklahoma. I'm about, I guess, 10 years younger than Shawn. So I was, that second wave. And, it's funny, you guys talk about THX 1138. I remember the first time I saw it, the thing that really, because I knew it was a George Lucas film and all of this. And more than anything else, the thing that really jumped out at me was all of the Star Wars sounds and Foley effects in that film. Like you hear R2-D2's beeps and you hear like the computer sounds and stuff. You're like, whoa, I recognize that. Whoa, I recognize that.
And even like the train, when it's moving, it sounds like one of the TIE fighters or something.
Yeah, totally. So that was that. It was funny because it almost, when I was watching it, because it's like this really heavy flick, it's like a 1984 Big Brother thing. And hearing these sounds almost took me out of it. I'm like, wait a minute, that's a droid sound. I can't deal with that.
Yeah, nowadays, listen, if you watched it then you would be probably into it or you wouldn't. But nowadays, knowing what we know, there is no way you could watch this movie without trying to, oh shit, that's where he got that. I was doing this throughout the whole movie.
Totally.
I was doing it throughout the whole movie, bro. All right, so you're growing up in Oklahoma.
Yeah, I was from Oklahoma. And I was pretty much steeped in art and comic art. My dad was an illustrator and cartoonist growing up.
So you had the influence already built in.
Exactly. And it's funny because growing up when I was small, he had an enormous art library. So I was lucky enough to be surrounded by and have very supportive parents that support. I started drawing very early on and they pushed it and they supported it. So I was very lucky in that regard. But my earliest exposure to like comics and comic art was, Peanuts, tons of Peanuts paperbacks, but also like, I was sneaking glimpses at my dad's like Guido Crepax comics and like heavy metal and stuff like
naughty.
Exactly. And before I even knew what, Superman was or anything like that. So,
whoa.
But by the time I sort of really went all in on comic books, it was the 90s, late 80s, 90s. So it was like all the Image guys, the Bombast and the 90s comics boom. That was where I sort of like, I think I was prime age, right? Like Youngblood and Todd McFarlane was my guy. And so from that point, I was like, well, I'm going to be a comic book artist, right? I mean, I'm going to be the next Todd McFarlane. And it was right at that point that I started getting a little bit older and I started discovering girls and punk rock and, partying and stuff. So I kind of fell out of right as the comics boom was imploding and the comics industry was dying. I kind of left comics. And so
you helped in the implosion. Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Well, what's funny about that is that had I discovered, like I had sort of seen glimpses of stuff like Dan Clowes and, Charles Burns and stuff, but I never really got my hands on any of that stuff. And if I had, it might have maybe kept me into comics, but
I understand, yeah.
I sort of moved. I went on to art school and was doing painting and printmaking and fine arts for almost 20 years.
Whoa.
And yeah, so about 4 or 5 years ago, I moved to Berlin, and I had become.
What made you to move to Berlin from Oklahoma? You go to Berlin?
Yeah, well, no, not directly from Oklahoma. I had a lot of stops in between.
Oh, okay. So you're a man of the world.
I was actually living in New York before we moved to Berlin. I was in Brooklyn before we.
That was the last time you had good pizza and a good bacon, egg, and cheese. I know.
No, dude, you are not lying about that.
I know.
Or a bagel for that matter. My God.
Well, you know what? In Florida, my wife found a shop called the Brooklyn Bagel Shop in Orlando, and she didn't tell me she ordered from there. She just handed me this cream cheese bagel, and when I bit into it, my eyes lit up. my heart started beating. I was like, where did you get this? It tastes like from the carts in New York. So he goes, it's called the Brooklyn Bagel Shop. Apparently they import their water from New York. I said, oh my God, I'm in heaven.
And you know the thing, dude, Berlin has like the hardest water I've ever felt. It's like they should be making bagels that compete with anywhere in the world, and nobody's figured it out yet. I don't get it.
Jeff, I think your side project, besides art, should be a bagel maker too, and then you could do SHP bagels.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
but no. So my family's always been nomads, and me and my wife had a son in New York, and he was getting ready to. He hadn't started school yet, and I've always been a big. I visited Berlin many times. I studied German language in high school, and I was always sort of enamored with the city. Since
all I know how to say is Guten Morgen, and that's about it because I have a
Guten Morgen. That's it. Yeah. But yeah, so we took a shot and moved here, and I mean, like, look, at the end of the day, it's like, we're not going to have to worry about a college fund. We're not going to have to worry about, health insurance for the kid or anything like that. It's all taken care of. So
what?
Yeah. So,
oh, wow. So
yeah. We got the social safety net figured out over here.
Yeah. Let me tell you what a beautiful country we live in, right, Shawn? But just sometimes like, geez, Look at how a country like Germany, so much smaller than us in size. Look what they could do for their people. Come on, guys. We need to wake up, America. Come on.
Yeah. Jeff's going to go take a year paternity leave on me. Paid paternity leave.
Yeah, exactly.
What?
Yeah.
Wait. You're going to be a daddy again?
No, I'm just joking.
No. He's just.
No, you get it. You get a year paid paternity leave.
No, I'm done. I'm done.
But you get a year
I got
a year paid paternity leave. Yeah.
Yeah.
So for the males, not just the females.
I think so. Yep.
Whoa.
It's actually it's actually about 8 months, but we do get paid maternity and paternity leave. Yeah.
Wow, that is, you just blew my shit. Hopefully wifey's not listening because she's gonna be like, let's move to Germany right now.
Yeah.
All right.
But,
so
so I moved to Berlin. Like I said, I always loved it, and I was a bit sort of disenchanted with art in general. Like I was trying, I had a pretty decent career going, but I don't know. I just felt a little empty to me. And I was when I was living in New York, I moved from Oklahoma to New York. We lived in New York for 5 years. And while I was in New York, I was doing stand-up comedy the whole time I was there because I needed a creative outlet, and that satisfied sort of the creative impulse. And yeah, so I mean, well, look, I moved to New York thinking, I had just done a big project. I had a sculpture in St. Louis at a big sculpture park, and I was like, oh, this is a huge project. They're gonna roll out the red carpet for me in New York. I'm gonna be a big deal. Then I got there and I was like, oh, nobody cares at all.
It was crickets.
And I can't afford a studio space.
Dude, in New York, you can't even afford a closet.
Exactly. So yeah, we decided to move to Berlin, so our son could start school here. And I was kind of like, searching for the right outlet, what felt right to me. And it just coincided, funnily enough, with the very start of the Cartoonist Kayfabe YouTube channel. Which is Ed Piskor and Jim Rugg, right?
Yeah, I love them, man. I had Ed on my podcast not too long ago, and he didn't know it was going to be video. So he goes, Al, I wasn't aware it was going to be video. Do you mind if I just point the camera at my next issue of the Red Room? I'm like, hell yeah, bro, do it.
Yeah. But great. Yeah, so I moved to Berlin, and like my first month here was the first month they started. And I randomly found their show, and they're talking about Wizard Magazine. And I was just like, oh my God, I have not thought about Wizard Magazine in 30 years. And it's like the nostalgia and the synapses firing in my brain. It just was like, hey, dummy, you're looking for some sort of creative output. Do you realize how much time and energy you spent on comics and becoming a comic artist back then? I had completely forgotten it. I mean, it took me like, I don't know. I sat down and I did like a 4 or 5 page story. Like it just came out of me, and I'm like, whoa, all right, I'm back, I'm in. So
it was just pent up in you, and your pen was shaking. Completely. You're like, I gotta do it, and he just his eyes rolled up behind his head, and he just started like.
That's exactly it. That's exactly it, man. So so I've been doing it ever since. I've been doing my own book. I've been doing small stories, and I sort of started put some feelers out for a project to work on. And found Shawn.
I'll tell you this, man. Your art reminds me of was it Daniel Warren Johnson? right now.
Oh, thank you,
dude. It's hard. It's metal to me. The art, the coloring, the lines, the expressions. Folks, don't you worry. I'm gonna tease you, but now I got to go back to Shawn for a minute because I need to start getting the seeds of the bromance that led to EroTech, EroTech. Again, I leave it up to you guys to decide. So talk to me there, Shawn.
Yeah. So sorry about the interruption. My kids do not know the meaning of "Don't come in, Daddy's on a podcast."
This is why I have on my door. My wife, my beautiful wife, she bought me a sign that says "on air" that you plug in and it has an on and off button. So basically, if that is on the door, do not come in.
I need one of those.
Yes. Oh, get the red light. Danger. If you come in here, Daddy will beat your butt.
Yeah, Daddy will turn off the internet and all your devices will stop.
Oh, right. Oh, I'll pause the internet for you. Really. Oh, you know what? Isn't that the funniest punishment you could give kids? Now I'm gonna pause your internet. No,
exactly.
So, talk about the creation of SHP and the bromance.
So
you guys connected.
I started writing. I've always had ideas going, and always, kind of imagined I'm going to be a writer at some point. But I was making a living in the computer industry, and I did, a lot of programming. I got into artificial intelligence, which just fascinated me. Like the way this stuff actually works is really amazing.
I can see the influences now in the book. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. So I started writing, and I wrote some screenplays initially, and I went to the Austin Film Festival last year with one, and I was looking around and just like, you know what? I did not like the film industry, because I live in rural Massachusetts, and it's just kind of a crazy industry, particularly one where they chew up and discard writers pretty quickly, right? It's like, your screenplay is, new for, 6 months, and then it's not new. And to find someone who's going to produce it. And then if they do want to produce it, they basically take it from you. You have no rights. Yes. You have no intellectual property. They can do whatever they want with it. Enter comics. I was like, wait a minute, duh. Like, why don't I just do this myself and have all the satisfaction of making it the way I want to make it? Like, pair up with an artist where it's a positive, collaborative, experience, and really satisfying creatively. Like that. What's better than that? So I just stopped on the fly. Like at one moment in the Austin Film Festival, I was like, I'm done with this. I'm going to go home and start a comic book company.
So you said, keep the film. I'm out of here.
And yeah, I'll tell you, that resonated in Hollywood. They were really concerned that I left their industry. Yeah. No. It was like
we're not going to get movies from SHP Productions.
I was like a fly hitting the windshield of it. But anyway, no, I came home, started the comic book company, and so I got 3 comic books in production. I've got a sci-fi, kind of an epic sci-fi, a little bit of Star Wars influence. I've got a comedy of horrors called Woodstake, about a vampire at Woodstock. That's the screenplay I took to Austin.
Okay, that motherfucker is going to eat all day, apparently.
Yeah, exactly. No lack of people.
Yo, now you got my mind blown. I would love to see that because, everybody was on some type of drug. So if he drinks somebody's blood, does he get high too?
That's the tagline. Who doesn't want to see a vampire trip on LSD, right? So.
I don't. It might go crazy, son. Nah, I'm good.
Yeah, that's where the comedy comes in. The hippies and the vampire. It leads to some pretty good comedy. So, but EroTech, so I worked in artificial intelligence for a long time, and I worked a lot in the tech industry just on software teams. And so I was thinking, what if you actually did try to make a sex robot? Like, it's one thing to imagine there's this perfect entity in front of you, but if you've ever been in design meetings and you've seen what goes wrong with any kind of software process, that's where the humor started to come up. It's like, how would you actually debug a sex robot, right? You could do it virtually, but at some point you're going to have to turn it on and let someone try it out. And, and just the complexity of the problem, right? Because if it's a sex doll, it just sits there, right? But this is supposed to be interactive. It's supposed to communicate. It's supposed to,
scary.
It's scary. And we're entering this world where we talk to our phones. We talk, we're getting so used to interacting with technology. So it just seemed like,
hey, Alexa, hey, Google.
Exactly. It just seemed like a great topic to dive into, and funny, right? I mean, like,
like I said, you had me again. I'm going to show the trailer as soon as you finish.
Yeah.
I was terrorized when something of a malfunction kind of happens, and I was like, oh my God, hurry up. Where is this going? And and again, I'm grabbing myself in areas I shouldn't be grabbing myself, because I'm like, oh my God, I can't breathe. So thank you, because you made that thing feel real in that moment I was reading.
Thank Jeff, because honestly, like, it's one thing to put it on paper. It's another thing to see it come to life. So I mean, I think it's a really good marriage in that regard, but I'm under no illusions that it's not the artist that is the primary creator in a way, because as good as the story, dialogue, characters may be, it's got to come to life, right?
Yeah.
So and it's been awesome to see that happen.
And it's been done and it was done tastefully too, is what I want to say.
Well, that's
I'm saying the things that I'm saying, but let me tell you, it leaves everything up to the imagination.
Yeah, we're not going for pornography. We are going for story, comedy, and story and comedy. Right? So you get past those first 5 pages or whatever it is, and then you're into an office comedy. You could be in Silicon Valley or whatever, and you're getting to know the characters, and and their quirks, and a lot of the humor comes from areas that are not even remotely sexual. And we really want to develop this as like a full-blown office comedy that is funny in its own right. They just happen to make sex robots. You
had the IT department down pat. Let me tell you, because I work in technology for my day job too, and it's been something I've been doing for the past 20 years myself. So you captured the spirit of an IT team. Let me tell you. I mean, you're a developer yourself, but you captured it because I'm an outside viewer. Of these teams when they're telling me all these things, and you're talking about the methodology. I was dealing with a service call like that today. Okay, enough said. So, what was the bromance? How did you even get this out there? First of all, I mean, how did you want to find someone? How did you learn to navigate that landscape of finding an artist? And how did you find Mr. GK right here?
Yeah. So, boy, I got lucky, I'll tell you, because I would love to tell you that I had a plan and I knew the industry and I made a list and carefully, I wrote this thing as a novel. Once I started as the beginning of a novel, like 150 pages. Once I had kind of gotten The Killing Machine and Woodstake going, I thought erotic has got to go. Like, it's just a perfect comic book. So I think we met on was it Global Comics?
Global Comics, yeah.
Global Comics. I know. Yeah. Shout out to the heads over there. They're making great moves and waves of the industry. Let me tell you.
Yeah. So I mean, it's a great way. Global Comics is a great way to just see a lot of comics, see a lot of different comic book artists and stuff.
Especially indie comics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I saw Jeff, and I saw his work, and I just kind of crossed my fingers and fired one of those emails into the void, or those messages into the void. So message in a bottle, but I could never have imagined how well it worked out. What's going to work out.
And I should say too, just real quick, I mean, it was a similar thing for me. Like, I wasn't like, they had just launched this job posting board, and I kind of made a posting just kind of on a whim.
That's how early you on with Global Comics. Then when they opened that up, you were like there just perusing and said, let me just.
Exactly. And so I made a post and was like, hey, I'm open for covers, interiors, whatever, and honestly, because it was so new, I just kind of figured, there's nobody, I'm never going to hear anything, and I think Shawn was maybe like the second I got one spam response, or it was like, hey, I want to do this like 500-page graphic novel and pay you $20 a page or whatever. But then Shawn contacted me. And yeah, it was like, I mean, we had a meeting, and it was like, I think we clicked pretty much immediately. He sent over the story, and I loved the story, and it was like, hey, this is great. Let's do it.
And I give him $25 a page.
Hey, $5 more, bro. Come on.
Premium.
I'm paying top dollar.
That's amazing. So, folks, before we continue talking with this amazing team about this awesome book that you're probably wondering, what are they talking about? Let me show you this awesome trailer about the book. Check it out, folks.
I have been designed to give you pleasure.
That's the best porn music ever.
I have been designed to give you pleasure.
Yo, that music, yo, Jesus Christ, you got the boing, 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 but all different. Epa, what?
Totally.
I'm glad you appreciate that. Not that I've ever watched porn myself, but it seems like
I love it. See, folks, what the fuck up? Did you see that art too? Those colors, that line work, the lettering, everything. Holy smokes, yo! Please, I'm also gonna bring up this Kickstarter, folks. Guess what? It's on Kickstarter, and you got 5 days. So check it out. They want the $2,500 goal. They have surpassed it twice already, two times. It's $5,000 right now with 137 backers. Folks, we got 5 days to go. We have to make it rain. Make it rain. Let's get them up to 6, 7, 10, baby. Come on. With 5 days to go. So
at some point we're gonna start offering sketches from me too. So we get that high enough, and you're gonna get some good stuff.
And there's stretch goals. You're already, if you at the digital level, you're getting 4 additional digital comics, and at any of the print levels, you're getting 4 postcards for free.
Whoa,
right now.
look at it right there, folks. They've unlocked multiple stretch goals, 4 free digitals, 4 free postcards designed by Jeff. And who is Katie Skelly? I hope I said that right.
Yeah, so actually that's the thing, man, is that we have put together some of, I mean, they're my favorite, but they're like luminaries in alt comics.
Okay.
The 2 that we've got doing covers for us are Katie Skelly and Hyena Hell. Katie Skelly,
what a name, Hyena Hell.
Yeah.
Hyena Hell, yeah.
What a name.
So Katie Skelly's a fantagraphics artist. She's worked, she's done Maids, My Pretty Vampire. She does these really great, amazing, simplistic, minimalist, kind of like sexy, funny comics. I mean, she's one of my faves, and I'm so thrilled. Her cover, if you scroll down, you can see that. So she's doing a variant cover for us.
Hey, projects we love.
Hey,
too.
there we go.
Before we move on, look at that though too. Projects we love. And let me tell you, this is the scene that started making me very scared. Okay.
You're getting PTSD, right?
Oh my God. I mean, we gotta call it something else based on what she was doing. But hey, I mean, look at that.
And Hyena Hell is another great indie creator. She does a bunch of comedy, No Romance in Hell, where it's like bureaucracy and slice of life, but with demons from hell. I mean, she's amazing, just awesome. So yeah, they're both doing some variant covers for us, so you get the opportunity to get a hold of those too, and they're great. I'm thrilled to have them on board. So it's awesome.
Just looking at this cover, now I have a question to that, because see circuitry behind, where the nipple should be. So is the nipple something that you could twist on and off?
Oh yeah, totally. You can get the different attachments, right? Like you like the pepperoni nipple, you add that one in. Like you like little dainty, we get that one on there, right?
We're all about the add-ons, right? We got
customization, bro.
What? You want the special nipple? That's going to cost you more.
Exactly.
Apps that do certain languages and things too here.
Oh sure, but it's all DLC.
Oh, yo, you got listen. There is some person out there right now that probably works for Hustler or the next progeny of Playboy that's like, yo, I'm taking these notes because we're gonna make this happen, and they're gonna call Shawn like, I need you to program this.
Don't ask me to program it, or worse things will happen.
Look at this. You guys gave this also an old school look and feel to it with the panel usage, the coloring. I mean, that kind of that off-whitish page. I dig that so much. Was that done with intent?
Absolutely. I think, after reading the story, I think one of the things that we discussed was that it was really important for us to not be too specific about when it takes place, right? It's just sometime in the future. And, I always like that idea from the Max Headroom show where it's like every episode is 15 minutes into the future, right?
Oh
and I really liked that idea. But I also, my kind of vibe is kind of old school comics, right? And kind of remixing the old school look, So
yeah,
I kind of wanted to give it this kind of timeless quality, almost like a Mad Men feel,
Ooh.
So you've got that poppy Silver Age color palette, you've got the Ben-Day dots, but then you have the digital sort of wafts of color and some of the effects, the blurring and stuff. So I really wanted it to be this nice kind of pastiche of all these different styles so that it felt futuristic, but also kind of old school at the same time.
I just want to say thank you for mentioning Max Headroom. I don't feel so bad now because I swear to God, last week I said this to one of my colleagues at work, and she said, "What the hell? Who the hell is Max Headroom?"
Oh,
I'm like,
man.
"Oh my God!" I said, "Never mind. I'm leaving for the day. I need to go take a nap."
One of the greatest one-hit wonders of the 80s, man.
Yeah, let me tell you.
Absolutely phenomenal.
So talk about the whole. Is this you? Okay, talk about the parts of the team that work on what, or is this just you two? I mean, are you Jeff? Are you doing everything here too, art-wise, lettering, or Shawn? I mean, what's going on here? Talk to me, because again, this is gorgeous. It's gorgeous coloring, lettering. I mean, let me tell you, this homie right here, what a douche of a boss.
We
Jesus
actually
Christ!
wrote that in the screenplay. That when he asked me for character descriptions, I was like, Rick is a douche, right?
Oh shit! Well,
Yeah.
hey, bro, you know what? You achieved the goal because that's all I thought. You what a douche.
Yeah. And that's
Yeah.
all, Jeff. I do
Yeah.
not pick up a pencil. You do not
Let
want
me
me
tell you
anywhere
right
near
there,
a pencil.
management sucks. You ain't lying, son. And look at this
And-
again. Panel uses and all. Oh, love it, bro.
And really, I mean, what it came from really was, I mean, it started with the script that Shawn sent me, and the characters were so strong. They sort of like started immediately getting me thinking about the types, right? And I wanted to make sure, because I mean, like the thing is that at the end of the day, it's an office environment. So you got a lot of people in a sterile office talking to each other in a corporate environment. It's like that could very easily just become like page after page of people talking to each other, right?
Yeah.
So it was really important for me to make the characters as distinct visually as possible. Like you got to know who's talking. They got to be really apart from each other and really distinct. So, but his script, I mean, it immediately started suggesting sort of like character design. So I kind of, ran it over with him, kind of put some stuff together, but then it's all about really making it as interesting as possible to look through, because, other than that, then you're going to get like corporate, sterile, boring conversation,
I mean,
and it's
but you're
like,
getting corporate attitude. He goes, "I don't want a raise, man. I need one." And then the poor guy is like, "Get the hell out." And what about dental? Give me something, coño. that is working in corporate life. Damn it, I'm working a lot. Give me something, son.
exactly.
That is so funny.
Exactly.
Bro. That is so funny.
But yeah, he nailed it. He nailed it, man. And it just immediately suggested a look to me. So that's where that came from.
And then look at this, the team itself. And yes, I think I was working with these two guys today. I swear I was, yo. 'Cause it's like, slow down first on the talk, breathe when you speak, enunciate when you can, because the poor field engineer on the other side of the line was like, "I'm sorry, excuse me. I'm sorry." I'm like, "Oh my God, let me translate. Can you type it and I'll read it?" Like, it got to that point. But yeah, it's great because that is right here. This is the world of technology in that one panel. Can we please just solve the problem?
yeah, no kidding.
So, Shawn,
No
you know
kidding.
that. Shawn, you know that.
Oh,
coming from that
I
field.
know it very well. And yeah, I know it. And once again, this page, like, I just want to say when I wrote the other two scripts, coming from a film world, I had a really specific idea about, how the panels were going to look and everything. But being Office, I just really wrote the dialogue and let him run with it. And it's unbelievable what he did. I mean, if you just step back from that page, yes, you have a conference room, but just the layout of the page, everything about it, it's just beautiful. And that's all Jeff. Like I wrote that dialogue, but I never imagined it could look that great.
Yeah, bro. Jeff, bro, you are gifted, man. You are gifted. And then we meet this homie over here. It's kind of weird. We meet this lady too, of course. And she's just a woman that is trying to be heard in this, what seems to be like a male-dominated office.
That's exactly it. That's kind of the fun, is that it really is a story about a woman trying to make her way in a male-dominated office. So it's kind of like, I mean, she's definitely the protagonist, and that's what's going on here, is that people are not taking her seriously and blowing her off.
They were all dicks, bro. They were all dicks, to be honest. I mean, let her get through up their presentation, people. Damn it. I would have been the one quiet dude there, like, just go on, ignore these fools, please. I need to know what the hell you're doing. Because obviously she has a very great idea that no one wants to listen to.
Yep.
I mean, the whole thing, it made me laugh too. The idea she has, immediately the men twisted into some very perverse ideas. It's like, oh man, we get 2 robots together. Oh no, we could get 3 of us together. Oh, I'm like, oh my god, guys.
Well, I
now
think
it's-
that's, honestly, that's kind of what drew me to the story to begin with, right? After reading it, I mean, it was that the characterizations were so strong
Mhm.
and that the protagonist was, I'm rooting for her, right? Like,
Yes.
I want the women to take over from all the tech douche bros in the world in real life, right? Like, this is my chance to make it happen a little bit, right? So that really drew me. I really love the protagonist. I think she's a great character, and I'm excited for the story that we're telling here.
And look at this amazing cover, looking so old school romance comic. Oh my god, Kirby would be so proud of something like this.
Yeah, we have
great.
3 amazing variant covers. So this first one is Jeff's, and it's just amazing.
Oh,
And that's
Yeah.
the Katie Skelly cover.
This is the Katie Skelly cover.
Hey, what? And look at these guys.
Yeah,
Come back.
I mean, just great stuff.
What I
She's
love
so
is that
awesome.
it's got this, it's the same ideas, but it's such a different style and such a different presentation of it. And that's what a variant cover should be, right?
Yes.
Like just something, a totally different vision of the same thing. And I love this too.
It's
Yeah.
great. It's beautiful. I mean, ooh, what the heck? Oh, wood steak. Oh, damn. What the? Ooh, what? Who is this? And why is she terrifying me so much right now?
Well, she's a vampire, obviously, but yeah. So this is a totally different artist. This is a young guy named Philippe Kroll. He's a Brazilian, and he has this really neat style of digital painting. It's very rough. A lot of strokes, thick strokes, and he's got a very unique style. But yeah,
Kind of very tapping the vein reminds me of from back in the day with the Clive Barker books. I don't know, you remember those?
yeah.
Very nice. Holy
So
shit.
yeah, well, the reason why these are up here is that you can. One of the reward levels is the SHP bundle, so you can get erotic,
Ooh.
wood stake, and the Killing Machine, all 3 comics, either digital or print. So that's part of the thing is jump on the SHP bandwagon and get them all.
Get them all. Get everything. But look at this. I mean, who doesn't want to read something like this? Stone Supermodel Crash Lands. Oh man, right up my alley. She's going after my heart. Look at these. Oh my god! Look at who wouldn't want. This is shelf porn, folks. Right here. This is gorgeous. Look at these covers. Whoa.
Yeah, the artist for the Killing Machine is a guy named Michel Fortin, and he's up in northern Quebec. So I got northern Canada, Brazil, and Berlin going right now. But
And what?
really different styles. And
You're messing with me. You know Justin Gray too, because I just chatted with him last week.
Yeah, so
Oh,
Justin,
really?
yeah, he's so he has very graciously given us the Justin Gray sampler with 100+ pages as a digital reward. You get that now; it's unlocked, so you get any reward tier, and you get 100 pages of Justin Gray digital.
Oh my god! Yo, how the hell did you even hook up with Justin, and for him to be so gracious to give you such a wonderful item?
Yeah, so I work with a company called Inked Marketing. They help out with Kickstarters for comic books, and
Big shout out to Kevin, baby.
Kevin,
Hey,
big shout out to
Kevin
Kevin.
G, man.
Kevin
He's the
G
man.
makes
son.
it happen. So Kevin G, he's hooked me up. And actually, what's great is like now Woodstake is available as a digital reward on other comics, and so it's kind of cross fertilization. But getting Justin Gray was a huge deal.
Oh my god! What the hell?
This is my book.
The metaphysical Mr. Fister. For
Yeah,
your audiences, folks, this is my imagination does run wild. I'll tell you that much. Is
Well,
this
I
what
hope
I'm
so.
thinking?
I hope so.
Is this what I'm thinking it is based on his name, or that this just happens to be his last name?
It just happens to be his last
Okay.
name. It's an unfortunate coincidence.
Oh, because I don't want to see a hero like this is how I stop people. Here, officer, I'm just gonna drop.
Hey, you can't rule anything out with this guy. I mean, that's the
Worst
thing.
superhero ever.
Yeah,
Hell yeah, but he got shitty arms apparently. Hey, oh my god.
yeah.
Oh, look at
But
this. This looks
yeah,
so
so this is my
Conan-ish.
book, and this is like, and this is a it's like my own surreal philosophical treatise on art and life and politics and everything, cleverly
word.
disguised as a superhero comic.
Ah.
So I've got 2 issues of that out. I'm working on the 3rd. That'll probably be out next year.
and I will say that ad in the book, so 60s, so dope. Great job on that too.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, so those are two. You're going to get 4 postcards already. So the full cover on the left, the 60s ad on the right, and then if you roll down, you're going to get the variant cover. That's now unlocked. I should say unlocked. We'll fix that. You're going to get the.
It should be updated. I mean, I might want to update the page. It should be fixed.
Yeah, I need to do that. So we just unlocked number 4 at about 4:00 this afternoon.
So wait a minute. It doesn't do it automatically. You have to do it.
No. Let's see. You know,
I just refreshed.
Is me on it? Yeah. Let's see now. Once it comes up, let's see.
Oh, you did it. You changed it, Jeff.
I did. Yep.
Awesome.
Yep.
So let's go check.
Not only is he an incredible artist, but he's on the Kickstarter updates. I love it.
Yay! Well, Amanda wears many hats for real, apparently. Let's go. Let's get down there. Please tell me it says unlocked now. And the Mr. Fister. Boom! Unlocked. There we go, baby.
Unlocked.
Check that out. Then we got those unlocked.
Yep,
exactly.
Those are still Hyena. Hell, what a name! I effing love that name so much right now.
Everybody should go check her out, man. Her books are fantastic.
And there it goes, the Wild Man GK right there. All right, obviously Mr. Hainsworth.
Yes, the boring and staid Mr. Hainsworth.
Divergent Media, their marketing partner. Good job, guys, in helping. So now we're gonna start talking the money. Let's start making it rain, folks. Let's go see every single thing that we got here. So check it out. Hello, Mrs. K. I hope you're well. And check it out, folks. We have Pledge Without a Reward for $10, right? For $8, you get a digital edition bonus pack that has Steve's Dick digital edition and digital edition of. What are we talking about with that?
The bonus. Oh, with Steve's dick or with the bonus pack?
Yeah, Steve's dick. I mean, what?
That's the title. That's the title of issue 1.
Okay. I'm like,
yeah.
I'm thinking over here, people are gonna get a mold. All right, so then for $10, you get the exclusive digital edition. You know, obviously,
the exclusive got 12 extra pages. It's a 40-page with process and pinups and all kinds of awesome stuff.
For only $10? Oh, that's great. That's a deal.
Yeah.
That's an awesome deal. Now, for $15, peep that deal. You get standard print edition bonus, and then digital. So you're getting some paper you can sniff and get high on, and some digital stuff, so that way nobody touches your real book. All right, and then for $20, 3 comics. You got EroTech, The Killer Machine. Oh man, for $20, bro, for real?
Those are the digitals. 3 digitals plus 4 digitals that are in the stretch goal. So 7 digitals for $20.
What?
Yeah.
Folks, let's get to that 6 racks like right now. Then we got the executive edition. What do you mean by executive?
The executive's got those 12 extra pages. So this is the print executive edition.
Oh, print.
It's 40 pages, and it's going to have some pinups and process and, you know, all of what's going on inside of Jeff's brain.
Look, folks, I'm sharing that link. You know, Kickstarter projects, SHP, EroTech, which is EroTech for those that are listening. Okay, go get her done right now. Look at this variant cover B standard edition. You got $30, right? And then you got the Katie Skelly variant. You know, again, you getting digital editions over here, beautiful and print, $30. You got the Hyena Hell again. Amazing name. That needs to be a movie name. Look at this amazing pack for $30 and for $30. What's the difference between the 30 and 35?
Let's see.
Oh, wood steak is added on this bad boy.
Oh, that's the I think that's the SHP bundle. So that is all print copies. That is all.
Oh.
So you're getting 7 digitals and 3 prints.
For $35? No,
right,
that's a deal.
Plus the 4 postcards. And
that is a deal.
Yeah, the print bonus pack is going to come with stickers and bookmarks and that kind of stuff as well.
Oh,
we are dumping the swag on you.
Hey, what? Make it rain on the swag, bro. Let's go. Ooh, who doesn't love swag, man? So, all right. So then we got the collector's edition pack. Hey,
So this is a limited edition. We're only printing 50 of them, and it's going to be like a spot foil cover, and they're going to be numbered.
And you're going to number by hand?
We are either going to number by hand or have the printer number. It depends on where Jeff is. I'm not going to touch anything with my hand and a writing implement because it is not good. But
do not trust me with a pen and drawing something on a paper.
But who knows? You may luck out, man. Maybe I'll be in the States with the ability to remarquee them. So you never know. You get in now. Who knows?
Yeah.
Shawn, just take some calligraphy classes and maybe that'll help.
I took a drawing class in college, and within the first week, I was nicknamed Thunderfingers.
Oh, not Thunder Thighs, but Thunder Fingers. Hey, wepa, folks. That says it all. I love it. Then for 45, you got the cover B. For 60, oh, great. This is what I love to see. This is the smartest move ever when creators like yourselves do this, the retailer packs, because we need these books in shops so the greater community that visits shops could even see how dope this book is. And then next thing you know, they're begging Lunar and Diamond and everyone else to like, yo, you better carry SHP. Look at this.
I encourage all the great shops out there to take advantage of this, because I mean, it's a great deal. You're getting a great deal on the books, but like this is a way. I mean, for me personally, I think that what's going on right now in indie comics, Kickstarter and crowdfunding is the way to go, and it's where the best stuff is being done. And if you're a retailer and you're trying to get the best indie stuff that's going right now, I mean, this is where you go to get it. The indie creators that are offering retail packs for the good shops around the country that want to get the indie stuff, got to take advantage.
Yes, please do, shops. It's important to support creators like this because these are the future. I mean, they may be indie now. Maybe it's not their plan to be in the big two, but you never know when the big two ever comes calling. That's a check you can't say no to. You know what I mean? So that's amazing. So
we want to get physical comics in readers' hands, and that is the best way to do it. Go to your local comic shop and pick. I'm doing a signing on Saturday at my local comic shop.
Where? Shout out the local comic shop. Tell me the town. Our people need to know. Where are you going to be?
His and Her Comics in Greenfield, Massachusetts. It's my friendly neighborhood comic shop. They're totally awesome. I've got 2 friendly neighborhood comic shops where I live. And we're doing a signing on Saturday, and I just love it. Like meet and greet. I'm going to be giving out swag, signing copies, and handing out physical comic books. So awesome.
You're making me laugh with that friendly neighborhood comics talk because I lived in Blackstone, which is next to Bellingham, and my 2 favorite shops in that town, Rubber Chicken Comics and Friendly Neighborhood Comics. Big Ernie. He even opened up a liquor store next to the shop now. So now you can get your comic, get your bottle of Henny, and then go home and start reading.
That is an entrepreneur right there.
Yo, big Ernie, a big salute to Ernie from Friendly Neighborhood, yo, for real. Now, I love it. I want it all package. This is with my precious. You should have called it the My Precious package.
My Precious,
As a Lord of the Rings fan, like the My Precious package. I wanted everything. Look at it.
And here's one thing about this. I listed all of the variants or all the versions we had available when we started the Kickstarter. But because someone pledged it, I cannot update the description. But when you say you want it all, you get it all. You're going to get the Katie Skelly. You're going to get the Hyena Hell. I can't update the
that sucks.
But all means all. You're going to get all 4 variants.
So this person is not getting just that, but they're going to be overwhelmingly surprised that they're getting a lot more.
If you say I want it all, when you open the pack, you're going to get it all.
Oof.
That's a lesson learned in Kickstarter is when I write an I want it all description again, I'm going to have to say and this includes every variant that comes out during the campaign. And actually, Jeff and I have been talking. We're going to have our variants lined up before the campaign. We're learning how to do this better.
Well, thank you, because there are established creators, and everybody in Comic Crusaders Podcast knows the story already, but there are established creators out there that I pitched into their Kickstarter, and I feel like it's been 10 years. Honestly, it's really been 10 years. I haven't still gotten the book, but they keep promising to send it.
You will get your book in August, I think, because given the time of Kickstarter to collect the money and all that stuff, but you will have your book in your hand in August.
You hear this?
There is no risk here because we've made our nut. We have the print costs, and Jeff's day job is with a fulfillment house.
Oh, wepa. So they better get it done. Or if not, Jeff K's gonna walk out. Like, how dare you not make my project happen?
Exactly.
You know how important I am here. And look at this, a sold out package, the early bird for $7. People,
Yeah, all the early birds are gone. But I might
look at this.
I might bring the early birds back in the last 48 hours. Don't know.
Bro.
And we should say too, also,
what the
you know,
wait, I want to say this though.
Go ahead.
I am very, very like wowed right now. I'm every early bird package.
Every reward tier was
gone.
30% off in the first 72 hours.
Wow. And they ate it. Yo, wow.
Yeah.
Kudos on you guys, yo. There's not a feat that many creators on this platform could do. So not that you just sell out on those, but you know, you got a project we love and you're funded twice over right now. Let's get it to 3 times, 4 times over. I mean, wow, guys, I'm totally impressed here. Amazing.
Thank you.
God bless you. God bless.
And I should just add too, man, we want to make sure that people get what they want. So, you know, once this campaign's over, we're going to be making sure that everything that you want is available as an add-on. You can get, you know, if there's something that you want, you're going to have the opportunity to be able to get it too. So we want to, like Shawn said, we want to make sure the comic gets into people's hands. We want people to check out this book, and we want to build that fan base, because I guarantee you issue 2 is going to be even more off the hook.
Oh, well,
yeah, we want happy backers. Like, I like random acts of kindness. Sometimes I'll just throw stuff into the bag, right? I mean, like, our backers are our lifeblood. So yeah, we want happy backers. You're gonna get what's there, maybe more.
This may sound weird and funny to you guys, but based on the content here, I mean, I understand that these are robots and all, but maybe you want to practice safe sex, and we should have some SHP condoms.
We talked about that. We talked.
Oh,
about
you did?
as a stretch goal. No pun intended.
Hey, yo, I mean, again, it would sound funny with the SHP stamp on it, you know. And would it be funny if you could even have somebody make custom ones that has certainty on it, so that way you could kind of connect properly? It has a plug in the front that'll do extra vibration or some shit. You know what I mean? It'll be funny. Yeah.
You don't mind electricity being plugged into your junk. That's nothing. What could go wrong?
Hey, listen, I saw somebody on YouTube, you know, put a taser to their private part. Some lady, I don't know if you saw that video, but that was the funniest thing I've ever seen. Yeah, I mean, I think she reached the big O, if you will, but she also passed out.
I would hope so. I mean, my God, you know, that's going a long way,
bro. I mean, again,
that's going for it.
Yeah, bro. I mean, she was looking like poor Steve here. Again, but this is such a fun book. You know, it is humorous. You guys have definitely done something that's going to be totally entertaining, out of this world taking, which is what we need in this day and age. You know, enough with the stuff that's going on in the world with the violence and the wars and, you know, kids getting shot at school. Like, I want to forget sometimes. And things like this are just a perfect, not that I should forget, folks. I'm not saying that. But just to step away, get a clear mind again by having some awesome entertainment like what you guys are doing. So, Shawn, you already said that you're going to be at a signing. What about you, G? You going to be anywhere in Germany or across the UK, European Union?
We'll see. I mean, you know, I got my local shops here. Shout out to Renata's Comic Bibliotech here and Modern Graphics here in Berlin. Both great shops. Black Dog Comics, my local shop that I love. Shout out to all those guys. But, you know, we'll have to see. I'm going to be in the States in right when this is being fulfilled. So I don't know. We may work it out. So we'll see what we can put together. And at the very least, like I said, one thing I can say is that we're both learning so much from this first Kickstarter. Great. And I guarantee you all the lessons we learned, we're going to put to work on issue 2. And I guarantee you issue 2 is going to be even better than this one. So make sure you get in now. Make sure you get in now on issue 1 so you can be primed for issue 2.
Wow, again, another thing to be inspired and floored by it. Again, your first project, and you're already at double the goal, 137 backers. So obviously, you guys have been doing the right thing when it comes to marketing and pushing the project. Any secrets you want to share with how you guys did that? Because it's like not many first-time creators have this.
It is not.
Is there a
easy.
secret?
Actually, the one thing I will say is being, a bit of a tech guy is you really have to use analytics. Like I put the Google Analytics, ID in there. So for example, I ran a Facebook ad with the cover you got up, the variant cover, and I was getting 4 cents a click, which is pretty awesome. I got like 2,500 clicks for $150. And I thought, oh, that's great. I looked at the analytics. I got one $19 conversion out of those 2,500 clicks.
One conversion.
One conversion. So, you really got to look at where, what's actually being successul, because it's not necessarily what you think it is. I think a lot of our success is that Jeff's got a good community, Divergent Media has helped. It's just you just got to hit it all over, but it's hard to know what's going to work, and you got to get, for us, for the future, it's analytics, right? It's like what actually worked, because you don't want to be feeling bad about overwhelming people on Facebook or Reddit with more join my Kickstarter posts, but you kind of got to do it, but only when it's working and if it's working, right? You want to develop goodwill with your audience, not like, another Kickstarter comment from these people, So I don't know. There's no magic formula, and we have a lot to learn. But I think just understanding what's actually working is a big part of it.
Well, I think you guys honestly, are doing amazing already.
I'll tell you, man, the one thing that I would say about it is that, as Shawn said, it's like I have a pretty good community that I'm sort of in with comics fans and things like that. But, it's important to listen to people and what they want. I think I've seen a lot of Kickstarters out there. This is my first one, but I've backed a lot and I've seen a lot come through. And I think that it's like there's plenty of them that it seems like they don't really care about what their backers want from their book or whatever. I mean, it helps that we have a great product. I'm proud of the book. It's a great looking book. You should back it just because it's an awesome comic, right? But at the same time, it's like we want to make sure that we're giving our backers what they want, what they value, what they want to have, as opposed to like, hey, we're going to throw in this, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. And it's like, we don't care about any of that. We want a good book. We want good value.
Let's give you quality.
And
exactly.
Art. Yeah, great art. Like, Jeff.
It is gorgeous.
Getting his favorite artist, Katie Skelly, Hyena Hell, to join in. It's like, when you're backing a Kickstarter, it's a relationship, right? It's not just like buying a comic book. It's like you're believing in us, and we are rewarding you and trying to make you feel special.
Yeah, we're being appreciative.
Yeah, that you want. And that's the relationship, and we're trying to cultivate that. Like
it's so symbiotic, right?
Isn't exactly. Back us, and we'll try to give you what you want and bring in the cool stuff. Which to me, once again, it's art. It's comic book is art, right? That's you can do all the the stickers and the pins and the this and the that, but for we wanted to put our emphasis on fine art prints, postcards, that kind of stuff.
And it looks great. I can't wait people get their hands on this. I don't want to keep you guys too much longer because I need you guys to get to 6,000 like ASAP. I want to see what happens next. But flowers time for both of you. Thank you as a fan, as a reader of comic books all my life. Just thank you guys for being so bold and brave and forward to just share your stories with us as fans.
Thank you for having us.
And taking us away from the world for a little bit and putting a smile on our face or having to grab our junk for a moment. Oh my God. Keeping me breathless, folks. I'm telling you, wait till you read that scene. Trust me, women will be like, what is he talking about? But dudes will be holding their breath during those scenes. Like, oh shit, what am I reading here? Thank you, Jeff, for making it so vivid without being at all fresh about it. Because again, you get the idea, and that's the most important part. And you get the little sound effects, which were hysterical. I was like, oh my God, please stop. I'm in pain. Even now, I think about it. I have a vivid imagination, folks. I feel what I think about. Okay, so there we go. But I need you guys to do this. Let's get into 6 racks, right? Support the project on Kickstarter right now. SHP, EroTech, EroTech. All right? That very same word. Or do androids dream of electric sex? Do they? Maybe they do. Who knows? AI is a mysterious thing we don't know nothing about.
That's, by the way, is a reference to Philip K. Dick's short story,
Hey.
Dick, Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep, which was what Blade Runner was based on. So,
Gotcha.
Yeah, little shout out to Philip K. Dick there.
Talking about dicks, right?
Yeah, exactly. Well, since we're on the topic.
And for real, this is what I want you to do. I want you to visit this amazing website, SHP Comics. Check out everything that this amazing publisher is doing. And then what's even more awesome, you can follow them everywhere on social, whether it's your Twitter, your Instas, your Facebook, your YouTube. SHP or H, like you folks in the UK say, P Comics. All right. Check out Big Jeff right here. It's the _ Jeffrey with a G, folks. All right. Not like Jeffrey, like Jeffrey from Bel Air, like that, with the G _ K.
Yeah. Or Jeffrey the Giraffe too, for the people that remember Toys R Us.
Oh man, are you trying to make me feel old, bro? And then we go JeffreyK.com. All right, so check it out so you can see amazing artwork as well from this uber talented mind. And check out SHP for everything. Shawn, again, thank you for doing what you do as a publisher, as a writer. Jeff, for you, what you do as an artist and all. I'm happy you guys met because you guys have definitely created magic when it comes to this book. I see nothing but good things for this. My last question, and you could both answer separately here or whatever. But if this could be something else other than a comic one day, once you're like 50 issues in and somebody says, I want to do something different with this other than a comic book, what would you want it to be?
I'm curious what Shawn's going to say.
Well, we got one of the reviews said the next great HBO series. And
HBO Max, baby.
Yeah, something that's funny, naughty after work, probably be the best home for this. But we really want to develop the story out, the characters out and everything. But if it could someday be an HBO series, that would be.
Let's manifest. HBO Max is gonna happen. You hear this? Let's put it out to the word in words.
Well, what's funny is it's funny that you say that, Shawn, because I've been thinking about that a lot actually since that review came out, and I was like, yeah, it would be a pretty good HBO Max, but it's like I really think it's got to be an animated series. We got to have some of the loosey goosey stuff going on with the animated characters. I think that's gonna up it up. You got a little bit of Warner Brothers Looney Tunes in there,
You have a little bit, but the whole thing is based on the topic. I don't want it to go into hentai all of a sudden.
That's true too. That's true. No tentacles allowed, right?
Yeah, please, Let me tell you, the first movie I saw like that was Urusu Kudoshi. And Legend of the Old Fiend in English. Mm-hmm. And I remember the first scene is when the demon woke up and he grabs a nurse and does naughty things, and he just goes after 1,000 years, and when he lets loose, let's just say that only half that nurse was left. I'm like, oh my god, talk about explosive, bro.
We'll keep it. We'll keep it a little bit more. We'll keep it a little more PG-13.
Please. But again, because it's awesome. It's like you said, it's just what if the Office wasn't an adult atmosphere a little bit more? You know what I mean? Let's make it what it is. And again, you have amazing characters. Hit on the money, because Shawn, you definitely showing your work experience through the story of the characters in that type of office environment. And me being in it currently, it's like, okay, you hit it out the ballpark, son.
Thank you. One of our early backers was like, I spent all my money on comics this year, but I work as an agile scrum master. I had to buy this.
There you go. I mean, whether you're a geek or not, though, this is something you're going to want in your life to read. It's self-porn. Not porn. I mean, shelf porn is going to look sexy on your shelf, especially if you get those variants. But it's a great story. It's so much fun. I can't wait to get my hands on issue 2 to see what's going on. I need to find out what happens to Steve, man, because this new thing that's happening towards the end is like, okay, woo, get me nervous for Steve. But I love it. You guys are awesome. God bless you guys on your journey. You keep doing what you do. Again, one last time, folks, because I love to repeat a couple times at the end because you guys need to do this. You've been listening, you've been watching. Support this amazing project. Again, EroTech, EroTech. Follow everyone, shpcomics.com, SHP Comics on the web. You know, D Jeffrey K underscores between D and after Jeffrey. All right, and that's with the G, folks. All right, or like he said, Toys R Us, and also jeffreyk.com. Check it out. Show the love, show the support. Tell them Mega and the Crusaders sent you. Now, last piece here is advice. I always love that. First project, but you've also been doing things, trying to step in. I'll start with GK on this one. What piece of advice would you give to an up-and-coming artist trying to step into the biz right now?
I would say the biggest advice I could give you is just draw all the time. Draw everything. Draw
your ass
everything
off.
you can. And don't just draw your superhero pinups. Go out and draw what a lamppost looks like. Go out and draw a car. Go out and draw a dog. Sit and draw from life. Draw all the time.
Go draw Al Mega's beard.
Exactly. You spend a year drawing everything around you nonstop. I guarantee you at the end of the year, you're going to be light years ahead of everybody else.
Oof, beautiful. And what about you coming from a writer's perspective, Shawn?
Yeah, I would just say be brave. You gotta, as a writer, as any kind of artist, you gotta believe in yourself, right? And the comic book world is really kind of inviting and open. Like, people tend to be really pretty cool about, everybody's like really supportive. I went to my first, cons as a creator and told people I was new, and as all as I got was good luck and a lot of great advice. So, if you don't draw, you can find great artists. You can have your own bromance or whatever the equivalent is. Just be brave and put yourself out there, and who knows?
There you go. See, that's great advice from these two amazing gentlemen again, because their brotherhood, if you will, brothers from another mother that are creating such an amazing title. And again, GK all the way in Berlin. You got Shawn over here in the States, and yet they're making magic over the web, for real. I mean, just kudos to you both. I'm digging it. I am a fan. I'm a fan of SHP. I'm a fan of EroTech. I'm a fan of you guys. I want everything. I want to take it all package. I want it all. Give me. All right, but you guys are great, man, for real. Thank you for being guests on the Comic Crusaders podcast. Folks, you know what to do,
Thank
right?
you, Al.
You got to follow comiccrusaders.com, follow undercovercapes.com. Check out all the shows. We have a family that just talks about everything, whether it's comic books, movies, TV. We cover it all, even music, folks. Even music. We can do it all, even K-pop. Son, K-pop Cosmos making a comeback, folks. All right, so if you love music, you love movies, you love TV, you love comics, you love indie, then we're the place for you. And with that, thank you again for hanging out with me, Al. Thank you for hanging out with Shawn, with Big Jeffrey K right here. Hasta la próxima, mi gente. Much love. Wepa! Thank you for listening to the Comic Crusaders podcast. If you like the content, please subscribe and turn on notifications. Also, please visit comiccrusaders.com and our extended podcast family over at undercovercapes.com. And also, make sure to download the Comic Crusaders app on the Google Play Store today.